Hey, Ready for Fam. This is the first video of 2024, and I want to set you up for success. What this workout is going to be about. A lot of runners right now are in spring marathon training mode, and what happens every winter is I see runners come into the clinic with some kind of foot injury or ankle injury or toe pain, just general foot pain, because for some reason in this marathon cycle, as you start to increase speed work, things start to go south. You get tight calves, tight ankles, which result in foot injuries. You know what? You don't need that this marathon season. So let me give you my foolproof 5 exercise circuit to make sure that you don't have stiff calves, stiff ankles. This way you build stronger feet and you avoid any kind of foot injury or delay for this training cycle. Even if you're not training for a marathon, these are still excellent exercises if you ever struggle with any of those foot or ankle issues whenever you increase your mileage or hills or speed work, fill in the blank. Let's hop in.
First exercise. Now I know you've seen toe yoga before, but this one is about keeping your big toe down while raising the other toes. This is about neuromotor control. Again, that mind-muscle connection. And honestly, this is really hard for me. So can you see how I'm struggling to keep my big toe down so much that I actually have to help it? I have to help hold that toe down and prevent my foot from spinning in order to lift my other toes. The point is, this takes practice. That is okay. Give yourself as much assistance like I am here and just keep practicing for 20 seconds at a time, because what you'll find is you will have some foot cramps if you try to keep going. Something you should be aware of, it is okay if this is harder or easier on one side than the other. My right foot, it's such a struggle, but my left foot, so much easier. So up close, you can see how it's very easy to lift my big toes. That's one variation of this. The other variation I'm talking about is keeping those big toes down and raising the other toes up. This also helps build foot strength, specifically intrinsic foot strength, which is very important for decreasing risk of foot injuries and also just running better in general. The next exercise is called an inline lunge. I suggest you take your shoes off for this so you can see how you might cheat and correct that the best you can. This is a very tiny motion where you line one foot in front of the other one and just perform this tiny knee bend. Now watch my back heels on both sides, specifically right here. I can feel it popping up a little bit. You might not be able to see it, but be aware of that while you're doing it. The motion is coming from the front ankle, and this is perfect for runners who have tight ankles, especially as they increase their mileage. Next exercise, I'll give you 2 guesses to guess what it is, but you're only gonna need one. Yes, there are more reasons for bear crawls. Now, what I want you to pay attention to here is look at the position of my ankle and toe. Just put the hate aside for the bear crawl, all right? My ankle right now is in a dorsiflexed position, which is actually the position, the movement you were working into during the inline lunge. This bear crawl also places your toe in extension, meaning like bringing those toes towards the sky. That is a motion that gets limited or restricted for runners as they increase their mileage. Last exercise. This is a variation of a curtsy lunge. What I want you to pay attention to is how the leg that is sweeping backwards, it's even better if you put that leg on a slider, or if you're at home, if you have a tile or hardwood floor, put a towel underneath your foot, because what you're trying to do is to keep that ankle dorsiflexion and that toe extension, basically all of those joints bending. You want to keep that joint bending motion because you are actually working into those motions that you just worked so hard to create with the previous exercises. What's important to know is that it's not just enough to create better mobility, create better range of motion. The trick here is to use these kinds of exercises afterwards so you can keep the motion that you just created. That is why I've put these exercises in such a specific sequence. That way you get to keep what you worked so hard for. And that's the entire Circuit Running Fit fam. You are going to have strong feet and no injuries in sight after this. If you like this, please come hang out with me on my website at drwoodfit.com, and please subscribe so we can do this more often. And until then, dare to train differently.